Communities. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, we're not like when you did the whole thing and it wasn't recording. Oh no.
Okay, what's your idea of an ideal class?
I would say one that is self-directed, project-based, and community-supported.
A class that allows students to learn across disciplines while making a difference.
A class that meets students where they're at academically and grows with them throughout the semester.
One that focuses on community connection and support. And over the past year, that's what we have come together to create.
Yeah, so we're in Hyper's Community Gardens, so the garden is
Right now, we're trying to get all the grass. Oh, really?
I will wait for you to break my step and relent. You forgave and I won't.
In 2019, IPOS created Flower Fest to showcase the importance of native species, Wisconsin's agriculture, and human impact on climate change. Flower Fest was really a turning point for our group. We grew to 5 members and made countless community connections. After the event, we started partnering with local organizations, working on creative projects, and most importantly, focusing more on climate justice. Soon, Cecily joined the team as co-director.
Ms. Bowman came to us with the opportunity to apply for a grant last spring to fund the school's greenhouses. I mean, I was sold. It sounded like a perfect fit for the organization. Unfortunately, plans to renovate the high school caused our plans to work on the greenhouse to fall through.
So we scrambled. We needed to come up with an idea within 3 days to present for this grant.
This is how our idea evolved into a class. Creating a vision for a class that gave students the freedom to explore climate justice, agriculture, and community.
And a couple days later, we were approved for a grant of $28,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't always.
I think too, so the plan is to do 12 rain gardens, 7 businesses that we don't have lined up. We have ideas.
We meet this Thursday, right, about the financial piece with
No, but we have that budgeted out so we should be able to put that in.
This driveway will drain straight into this area. My hope is that students will be able to, yes, take the initiative and create a project that is really based on what they're passionate about and what they're interested in doing in the future. And I think that in letting students participate in their own education is really important.
We want to have speakers and we're working with organizations like Rooted and places like that to work with us and work with students one-on-one to have that mentorship and to have that involvement.
We hope to not have a lecture style, but more of a discussion.
I like school, I like learning, but I also like working with other people and working with other organizations and connecting with local community members. Being able to connect that in one class, I think is really cool.
In Pursuit of Sunshine is an independent production and has a time brokerage agreement with Double Radio. Enjoy!
I just want to remember that this is the last question that we have to ask.
Okay.
Okay, this is the one where only one works, but that's okay.
Cecily and I have been hosting IPOS on air for the past 12 weeks, so this is our 12th week. We have a 13-week contract, I guess, and we started May 7th of 2021.
You know, being on the radio, you have to learn so many new skills. Like, I just how to talk to people.
Not only have we learned how to talk with people, but also how to listen to people, which is something that I don't know if we were great at before. I mean, we're not great at it now, but hopefully we're getting better at listening to people's stories and also including new people and letting other people reach out to others for us.
Over the past few months, we've hosted a radio show and built community gardens across Madison while simultaneously planning out what our class is going to look like.
Building off our experiences this past summer, we have established 3 foundational goals.
1, allow students to design their own project to build climate resilience with agriculture as a main focus.
2, bring community leaders, educators, and elders into the classroom to help mentor, guide, and support students academically and logistically.
And 3, help students develop interdisciplinary skills to combat the climate crisis through creative approaches.
The best education is student-directed. When you have an interest, like you're interested in trees, or I had a friend that was really interested in roots, when I was in high school. If she could have had a directed class in the root system and now we learn all this stuff about how trees interconnect and help each other out in their roots, that would be perfect.
Students, are part of the community. They see what they need based on their family and their community, and they're going to be able to choose a project that they want to do. And so there's immediately an interest. That's what you want in education. You want the student to be interested and curious. And so we're going to build on that.
Got to follow your path and your dream and your interest and have people support you in that and let you go.
That's part of what engages the desire to learn, is when it feels relevant and pertinent and personal for the student. And part of the process is the learning how to learn. Like, how do I find the sources of information? How do I find the people or the methods that can teach me the skills I need in order to do the kind of learning I want to do and do the kind of work that I want to do?
By allowing students to explore what they're interested in, they will become more passionate about education and what they're studying, therefore leading to higher student success rates.
In a study done by the Stanford Center for Opportunity Policy and Education, they found that their case study of 4 schools' student-centered learning models led to 4-year college persistence rates far exceeding the national average, particularly for students who were the first in their family to attend college.
Additionally, when a school in Pittsfield switched to a student-centered model, they increased their graduation rate by 5% and college-going rate by 13% in just 3 years.
This class has the opportunity to completely transform how students think about and understand the education process. Could you start off by introducing yourself?
My name's Denise, and I teach at the university level, and this is my first year at this community garden, growing lettuce and things like that. And then I've got the kohlrabi here and the kale. So I only had one of my kales that I planted continue to grow, but this has been yielding enough that I can take a couple of leaves every time I come, and I've got plenty of kale. So
in the process of planting community gardens around the town of Madison this summer, we've had the opportunity to connect with community mentors in a way that we hope students of this class will be able to once it is implemented.
those flowers there, they're all sticky. Because oftentimes they produce carbohydrates or sticky, sweet nectar to encourage the pollinators to visit them. So they must, because my fingers are all sticky.
It has been very inspiring seeing how agricultural practices can serve communities and bring people together.
When we talk about solving the climate crisis, we must do so in a collective sense for our project. That means introducing students to community mentors, such as organizers from Rouge, Wisconsin, farmers, local business owners, because at the end of the day, you can't solve a problem unless you engage with the people most affected.
Community gardens are an excellent way to bring people together. It is, you're using space, you're sort of small-scale battling food insecurity in areas where fresh produce is not available, and kind of empowering people to work together and use the land that they have around them for that purpose.
Our work with community gardens has really served as an example of the projects we hope to do with the class. A huge thing we've learned this summer is that no community is the same.
You need to work with the communities to make sure that that garden is serving the purpose that they need as well. Instead of sort of a top-down approach where other people just come in and be like, you need a community garden, and drop one down without talking to the actual community there. But also making sure they can be successful by sort of battling the other societal issues that are going to prevent people from using it, right? People can't actually maintain a community garden if they don't have time to do it, right? If you're a single parent working 2+ jobs, it's a lot of work to maintain a garden.
When we look at our gen ed school curriculum today, you're taught to solve problems in ways that might not be applicable to every community.
That's why, especially when it comes to climate justice, we are giving students the opportunities to take problems in their community and forge solutions with the support of mentors and teachers. We aren't telling them how to do it. Instead, we are giving them the resources and community knowledge base to solve the problems themselves. This fall, In Pursuit of Sunshine members will be taking part in an independent study at West High School to write the class's curriculum in partnership with West teachers.
In the second semester of the 2021-2022 school year, we'll run the class as an independent study as a prototype.
Finally, we hope to expand the programs to all major Madison high schools.
When I look at the future of this class, I see students graduating ready to take on the climate crisis with their newfound knowledge in leadership, community, and everything else that comes with creating their own project. At the end of the day, we want our school to represent a good community. And what is a good community other than a safe environment where we can fail and grow together?
If I was a high school student, especially right now in 2021, with the pandemic, I'll be honest, as an adult, as a 53-year-old adult, you feel very helpless. But this gives me hope. This gives me hope, this class.
I think the impact of the class that you guys are creating could be incredible.
And these students that, we want to improve our world. We look around and see that, we didn't do right by the world, but we can. If we just do that one act of, it could be, just planting a garden and making that and feeding our family is a huge act in a positive way. That's not only going to impact that person, that family, but the world.
Like we were saying before, I think this is something that I wish we had more of when we were younger. Just putting that in front of you and actually being able to sort of get out and participate in community gardens and plantings and restoration projects. And not just that, but also connecting with different people in the community on those projects. I think that'd be amazing, and I hope this is successful and that they pick it up for future years for classes to have.